here are iPad accessories that I actually use. You could have all the accessories in the world, but if your iPad just gets broken, then they're all just completely useless. So the first one, of course, is the case. This is the ESR Rebound. I had this thing for about 3 years basically now, and as you can see, it was one of those ones with a flipping cover, but you can see it actually broke off. I must have flipped it like at least 1,000 times because I used this thing for high school. We had our textbooks on tablets in high school, so it's a miracle it survived like 1,000 flips. Most people won't really do that many in such a short time. So far, this case has been very good to me. It's protected my iPad from getting dented and all that stuff. I'd highly recommend it. I'll put a link in the description. They've got everything from these older looking iPads to the iPad 10, the iPad Pros, iPad Airs, all those ones. The next one is this thing right here. This is a keyboard, the Logitech K380. As you can see, it's nice and compact. So you can put this in the bag right next to this iPad. You can pair this thing for everything from an iPad, Android phones, Windows, Mac OS, and you can even pair to 3 devices at one time. So the specific reason why I use this is because I can easily type out my essays on Google Docs using this bad boy right here. And I also used to edit videos on my iPad. So you actually get access to keyboard shortcuts. Let me see if I can pair this thing right now. All right, I got it paired. So a nice thing about pairing keyboard to the iPad is that you get macOS style keyboard shortcuts, Command space, bring up Spotlight search. It's very nice. And if you hold down the Command button, you'll get a list of keyboard shortcuts. For example, here in LumaFusion, I can import stuff, I can do cuts, and if I keep scrolling, there's even more, lots of stuff. So it speeds up your workflow when it comes to very typing or editing heavy tasks, so you can easily halve the time that you spend typing stuff out or editing videos or whatever. I found this thing very useful. They claim a 2-year battery life. It's been almost 2 years since I bought this thing and it's still running on the original batteries. The main issue with this thing is that after a couple of hours of using this thing, your fingers might get cramped. But other than that, I'd highly recommend this thing. The next thing is the most overpriced accessory ever made, the Apple Lightning to USB 3 camera adapter. So this allows you to connect things like, for example, flash drives or USB mice and keyboards to this thing. Now, unfortunately, you can see there's a lightning port right here. In order to use flash drives with this thing, you have to plug it into a charger, which is annoying and defeats the purpose of an iPad, which is meant to be a portable device. But when I was editing videos, it would be the easiest way to transfer files without first uploading them to iCloud and then downloading them in some complex process or having to use iTunes. I had to buy this thing, but if I'm being honest, it was a waste of money because it's so overpriced. The next thing I have is a fake Apple Pencil. This one costs 1/3 the price of a real Apple Pencil. So the way you turn it on is you tap your finger, it turns on. If you don't use it for 5 minutes, it'll turn off automatically, so don't worry about that. You get a 10-hour battery life. I don't think you have fast charging like you do with the OG Apple Pencil, but you can charge this thing with a USB Type-C port. One thing that this doesn't have is pressure sensitivity. It does do tilt. Let me get a note open. You can see how I can write. And the delay is not that bad. The delay is the same as the Apple Pencil. I can also tilt the pencil, or I need the highlighter. You can see how I can write like this, or I can tilt it to get a nice fat stroke, which is very nice. So for someone who's not looking to do any art, this thing is amazing. I actually did a ton of my high school notes with this thing, and it works great. The next accessory I have is these headphones. These are Volcano Impulse headphones. They were super duper cheap. You can just use any headphones you want. I mainly use my iPad as a video watching thing these days, mostly YouTube, so having a nice set of Bluetooth headphones makes this thing the best thing to watch YouTube videos on. Bigger screen than a phone, but you don't have the issue of having to carry around a big laptop. So that's why I really like it. All links will be in the description if you want to buy anything. Thank you for watching.